Christ, I muttered under my breath, watching the first flakes of snow gather on the windshield before the wipers cleared them away. I'd been sitting in my sister's driveway for 20 minutes now. Waiting inside wasn't an option. Her 2 gray cats were adorable, but a death sentence for my sinuses. Puffy eyes and a clogged throat were the last things I needed right now. Every Christmas, my family made the pilgrimage to my grandparents' cabin in the woods of Hope, Alaska. I had hoped to get ahead of the storm that was forecasted, but here I was, wasting time because my sister couldn't drive herself. Her license was suspended after a DUI, so I got stuck with the honor of being her chauffeur. When Mom asked me to pick her up, I had dreaded it. It wasn't that we hated each other, we just weren't close anymore. Years of arguments and resentment had eroded our bond. We were siblings in name only, the residue of what we used to be. Finally, her front door opened, and out she came. This time her hair was green. Last time, it was white. Before that, violet. She climbed into the passenger seat, bags in tow. "Got everything?" I asked. She mumbled, adjusting her glasses. With that, we were off. The 30-minute drive to Hope stretched out in awkward silence. The radio in my car was broken, and the auxiliary port made music sound like a robot having a seizure. By the time we hit the snow-covered Hope Highway, I was more than ready for this trip to be over. Then she cracked the window and lit a blunt. "Want a hit?" she asked. "Not while I'm driving." "It's a straight shot. We're basically there." She took a long drag, blowing smoke out the window. "Can you not? I want to focus." She shrugged, but not before taking another hit. "If you're that worried, maybe slow down a bit." I bit back a retort. She wasn't going to bait me this time. I was too close to the finish line to get sucked into one of our old arguments. Soon, I'd be at the cabin with a spiked eggnog in hand, Uncle Jed cracking crude jokes in the background. Then it happened. "Dude!" she screamed, jabbing my arm and snapping me out of my daydream. I looked up just in time to see a reindeer, or was it a caribou, standing dead center in the road. Its wide, vacant eyes stared into the high beams as I swerved hard, barely missing it. The car slid off the road, wheels sinking into a mound of snow. "Jesus," I muttered, heart racing. "Did we hit it?" "No," my sister said, leaning out of the window. "But we're stuck." I climbed out to check. Sure enough, the front tires were caked in slush and snow. I kicked at the mound, scraping it away with my hands. That's when I heard her yell. "What the fuck?" I looked up. The reindeer was standing on its hind legs. It looked wrong, like something out of a bad dream. Its body was too still, too balanced. Then it screamed, a sound like metal grinding against metal. My blood turned to ice. I froze as it dropped back onto all fours and pawed the ground. Steam billowed from its nostrils. It looked ready to charge. I dove back into the car, slamming the door as the reindeer lunged. Its antlers scraped the side as it thundered past. My sister screamed as it circled back, smashing the headlights and plunging us into darkness. "Just drive," she yelled. "I'm trying." The tires spun uselessly. We weren't going anywhere. The creature charged again, this time shattering her window. Glass shards rained into her lap. I fumbled around for anything I could use as a weapon, but came up empty-handed. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the reindeer stopped and retreated into the woods. We sat in stunned silence before calling Dad for help. He promised to come with his truck, but the damage was done. My sister and I were shaken to our cores. Then we heard it. "Help me," a little girl's voice whimpered from outside. "I'm lost. Please, someone help me." My sister moved to open the door, but I grabbed her wrist. "Wait, something's off." The voice repeated itself, the same tone, the same cadence. It was like a recording. My stomach sank. Then I saw it. A face, leathery and grotesque, human but not. It peered through the window, its wide, unblinking eyes locking onto mine. My sister screamed, and I couldn't move. The thing let out a shrill cry, but its mouth didn't move. The sound came from small, fleshy holes on its neck, mimicking the voice of the lost girl. Headlights appeared in the distance. Dad's truck. The creature disappeared into the trees as quickly as it had come. No one believed us, of course. But that night, we found stories about creatures called Skinwalkers, beings that could mimic voices and take on the form of animals to lure people into the woods. I don't know what we saw that night, but it wasn't just a reindeer. We never made that trip again, but something good did come out of it. For the first time in years, my sister and I started talking again, really talking. If nothing else, the terror of that night reminded us of what it meant to be siblings.